Well, hello again, and welcome to Otaku Verse Zero. I'm your host, Patrick Macias.
And I'm Yu Asakawa.
And this is our show that's updated weekly, and we talk about anime, manga, Japanese pop culture craziness, otaku stuff. And I have a personal question for you. Do you notice anything different about the guy named Patrick Macias this week?
Have you got a haircut?
It's entirely possible. Anything else? Anything else?
What's this?
It's my totally awesome Otaku Verse Zero shirt. And maybe it was made at a Kinko's or an Office Max or something, but it's a limited edition of one, and I'm wearing it because today's a very special occasion. Some of you are watching our show through K's Station, through the homepage, but as of today, this very moment right now, we're also being featured on Crunchyroll.com.
Crunchyroll.com.
Okay, now before we even get to talking about Crunchyroll and all that entails, we have to talk about K's Station a little bit because I'm still trying to figure it out. K's Station is, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's an internet radio station that creates kind of original programming, kind of chat shows featuring often anime seiyuu, anime voice actors. And I have a list here of some of the featured voice actors. There's one here who's a lot of trouble, who's a crazy person named Yu Asakawa. Have you done any other shows for K's Station besides Otaku Verse Zero? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay, so there's another seiyuu called Miyu Matsuki.
Don't mention her.
Don't mention her. Why not? What's wrong with Miyu Matsuki?
Miyu Matsuki is my friend.
She's your friend?
And she's a bit crazy.
A bit crazy. Okay, she's also, I guess, a voice actress on Glass Mask, Hayate the Combat Butler.
My friend.
You're, and you're a good friend, of course. You're inseparable, which is why she isn't here. Mai Nakahara? We know about Mai. Do you have any gossip?
Gossip? I
Any
can't tell you.
Any hot gossip?
I know, but I can't tell you.
Ryoko Shintani?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about Ryoko. One word. Give me one word that describes Ryoko.
We worked together.
That's 3 words.
Amagami?
Okay. Okay. Masaya Onosaka?
I know.
Okay. Okay, give me 2 words, 3 words, a word that describes him.
Masaya Onosaka, he's
Dangerous.
really dangerous.
Sexy.
Interesting, talented.
Okay. Right on. Ryotaro Okayu.
Okiayu.
Yeah, Okayu.
He's very famous, and I worked together a lot.
Okay. Okay. Hiroshi Kamiya?
I heard he is most popular voice actor in Japan.
Number 1.
I heard.
Really?
So.
Okay, so it must be true if you heard that.
Very difficult to
fake something like that. Yeah. Right? Okay, that's good enough for me. And today we have a special in-studio guest, Mr. Rob Barreda, the VP of Licensing from Crunchyroll, who's going to tell us all about Crunchyroll. So Rob, take it away.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you,
very much.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Rob?
Yes?
This is the question I'm going to ask you that's going to help me win the Pulitzer. And it's the one that everyone wants me to ask, which is how did Crunchyroll start from such humble origins as a site that often dabbled in sometimes material of a duplicitous nature? How did you build the empire from such humble beginnings?
Well, thank you very much for that question, Patrick. It's a very good question and a question that deserves a very good answer. So much like making when you're baking, when you're cooking, right? You have a bowl and you're sticking things in the bowl. Like for me, I love to cook at home and I love to just start throwing ingredients in the bowl. And sometimes people ask me, Rob, what are you making? You're just making something. It's you're cooking, you're making something, and sometimes it doesn't turn out very good. Sometimes you realize that you've mixed pickles with mayonnaise and chicken, and some people like that, but then it doesn't work. But other times you are throwing ingredients in, all the right ingredients come in, the right proportions, the right amount, the right freshness, nothing was spoiled, nothing was expired. You throw it in the oven, you do the right temperature, right preparation, right everything. And, and by Zeus, it comes out perfect. So a lot of things came together for Crunchyroll to get where it is today. Some of it was, we like to say it was, our good job running around Japan and meeting people and talking to people and saying, look, we're good guys. We're going to help change the anime business. We're going to transform everything. But also a lot of it, too, I'll say this, too, a lot of it is being in the right place at the right time. We were doing this digital thing right as Japan saying, let's go digital, not too late in the sense that we were the wrong place at the wrong time. We were not a latecomer, but not too early. You've heard so many, probably U.S. anime companies saying, we've been asking to do what Crunchyroll's been doing for years, and how come they got it? Well, it's just circumstances, led to saying, we're here, it's going to happen, and it happened, and now we are the premier portal and community site and platform for anime in the English language and soon to be Portuguese language outside of Japan.
So what are some of the big anime that Crunchyroll has featured in the past that have been #1s with bullets and stuff like that?
Well, let me tell you about some success stories. So there was a quaint little anime last year, well, about a year and a half ago actually, that wasn't on any TV station. It wasn't on OVA or anything. It was literally an ONA. It was called Time of Eve, Ibu no Jikan, and it's made by this great little company called Directions. And there's this guy named Yoshiura Sensei. He's a creator of it, and it's this great sci-fi, futuristic, little, robot anime where there's this cafe in the future, and in this cafe, people, there's no discrimination between robots and between humans. It's like you go there, you can't ask what someone is, and there's all these parallels with our society. People are always judging people are always labeling people, but in this cafe called Time of Eve, coincidentally, people are equal, and then so you have all these revelations during the show about what's going on, and that really hit with our users. I like to say, and take credit for this, we discovered that show in the West, and we just basically cold called them. Here in Japan, it's like, hey guys, people are watching the show, so let's stream this online. It was a huge success on Crunchyroll. We had 6 episodes, 15 minutes a pop, and it made more money than some of the big budget shows. It destroyed. And so there's been some good success stories like that. Other things that have been successful are Super Robot Wars, which Miss Azukawa happens to star in, has been a very big success. And I think it's probably due to the great voice acting in the show.
When you tell the robots to launch and hush in and stuff like that, it's
Get out of Hashin!
No. Okay, sure. That's acceptable.
Sure.
In this context, completely acceptable.
We've had a lot. Anyways, so we've had a lot of great successes. Yeah, a lot of stuff you wouldn't always expect. People expect the great shonen action shows, the high budget, prime time, golden time shows to succeed, and those do succeed for the most part. But there's these other shows, like Time of Eve, like Super Robot Tyson, like Otomo Yokai Zakuro. These shows that are not necessarily the shows people expect to succeed, that just hit it out of the park.
They can break through. Well, that's good news.
Exactly.
And I think I may have just a vague feeling here coming out of left field that you yourself might be an anime fan, going way back.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny. So I, grew up in the States, deprived of anime for the most part, and the first anime I saw that really got me into anime was original Vampire Hunter D, the good one, not the new one.
I like the new one. Okay.
Anyways, so that wasn't really coughing. I was just disgusted. I was just completely disgusted by Patrick. Okay. But that got me into anime. I absolutely love that. Made a great impression on me. Stuff like that. Stuff like Galaxy Express. Stuff like Harlock and like Wagaseishu no Arukaria. That was one of my favorite all-time animes. One of my favorite all-time animated movies. These really epic classic sci-fis. Just to be honest, I know this will probably offend quite a few people in Japan, but I just like this nostalgic anime more. There are things recent here that I have actually quite liked. The new Ghibli movies I've actually quite enjoyed this season. Both Super Robot Tyson and Otomo Yokai Zakuro. I really like Time of Eve. You can see that there's a sci-fi supernatural theme with me. Those tend to be my personal favorites.
Okay. Do you have any questions for our buddy here?
I wanted to ask him about his favorite anime.
Okay, but he already answered that. Okay. Any more questions? Maybe you could read one off this piece of paper. What do you think? What do you think about that one?
You live in Japan?
Yes, I actually live in Japan.
I didn't know that. How long?
I've actually lived in Japan since late 2008. So I've been living in Japan since then. Got my my work visa. My little what people call the Gae Kokujin Toroku Shomeisho, little Japanese identity card. I have my commuter pass to work. So I'm not completely assimilated. There's certain things I don't get. It's like
ramen, for instance.
Yeah, ramen and me don't really get along. It's not so much the noodles. The ramen noodles in terms of texture and consistency, it's there. But in terms of the oil, the sauce, it's like imagine taking a melted stick of butter and just like pouring it on your face and having it seep down your throat, and then just go into your stomach and think about that while you're doing that. That's what having ramen is like to me. So as much as I like the actual noodle, just in terms of the sauce, and the oil and the liquid doesn't do it for me. Because when I was a kid, when I was a child, we always have those dried top ramen noodles. Yes. Yes, we had those, during recess at
it
school.
It helped make me the man I am today.
I know, exactly. Those are fine. I'm perfectly fine with those.
No, those are good for you, not this healthy stuff.
No. Just
all natural
modern, natural ramen. I'm sorry, but doesn't do it for me.
Okay, now I could talk about ramen with you, and you, of course, all day, but we have to take a break now. So pause. And we're back. And now it's time for the most dangerous part of our program where we answer viewer emails. And we have one from Gabriel who says, I love your show, guys.
Thank you.
And I have questions for Patrick and you. Patrick, what was your biggest culture shock when you first came to Japan? That was the fact that all the stuff that I liked about Japan, which was like Godzilla movies, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, was all for little kids. That the people I were hanging out with were suddenly 5 years old. So that was kind of shocking to me. And it was shocking to them, I think, to see a big, crazy gaijin standing around fighting over toys with them. So what was the biggest culture shock for you when you stepped outside of Japan for
when
the
I
first
went
time?
to Australia,
Australia?
we cannot. In Australia, I heard we cannot drink alcohol in public space.
Was that a big problem for you?
Yeah, policemen came to us. And
Oh, the policeman. You got in trouble.
not trouble, just we had a party.
You got busted.
In a park. Yeah, and I was drinking a beer.
Bottle of vodka.
And the policeman came to us and stopped drinking.
Did you pretend you couldn't speak English, or did you not speak English?
I pretended.
Good trick. Good trick. I tried that with a 5-year-old one time at a toy section at a store. And Rob, culture shock for you when you came to Japan? Was it ramen? Was it the top ramen wasn't the same?
Actually, what was funny is in the restaurants here, okay, Patrick, in the U.S., most states have done away with smoking sections of restaurant. But in Japan, you have a restaurant, let's say a Denny's or whatever, like a Jonathan or whatever. The smoking section, literally, the division between smoking and not smoking is basically a little flimsy piece of plastic. And I was completely shocked. I was like, wait a minute, how is a person who is 3 feet away from the person smoking,
Not
anyway
smoking.
shielded and not being exposed to smoke, and they're not. So that was completely shocking
It was
to me.
definitely shocking.
Yes.
Okay. This one's from Ron. Hello there! Exclamation point.
Hello.
I read on some article that said commuting by train is like a hell in Tokyo. How so? Do you have any exciting stories of commuting by train in Japan to share with us?
No.
Is it like hell? Is
I
it?
heard it's like a hell.
You've never seen anyone just like vomit all over the place, or no one's grabbing each other or fighting, or
I haven't seen that.
Really?
Kind of
See,
people.
Patrick, the thing is, in Japan, famous people like you don't take the train. They
Okay.
get driven around.
Limousine, the limousine
Yes.
bus,
Yes.
right? The big
Or
orange.
horses. Or horses.
Okay, Yu's in denial about the state of how horrible the trains are here, particularly during rush hour. Rob, do you have any horror stories about taking the train?
Yeah, there's been a few times. The train is the most crowded, not in the rush hour in the morning, but when you get to the last train at night, like on a Friday night or even a Thursday night, that last train is filled with people, filled with salarymen, filled with sweaty 40-year-old chunen. And basically, there are BOs everywhere, and you're basically hot boxing off their body odor, and it's just, it makes you want to pass out. That is not fun.
Yeah. What else can be said? It makes me want to pass out. Well, I think that's it. I think that's actually it for the show this week. Thanks, Rob.
Sure.
Thanks for having us on Crunchyroll.
Thank
This is the
you.
beginning of a beautiful friendship.
All right.
So stick around, and I guess the last thing you have to do, is what you do so well by telling people where to send their dangerous emails. So hit us with the address as best you can.
obz@kstation.com. obz@kzstation.com.
Okay, that's it.
Perfect.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.